Hey, my name is Jannica. I'm with Jannica's Cookies.
And I'm Bailey with Sage Homes.
And today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make these cute cookie gift sets for your mom for Mother's Day. Also in May though is Teacher Appreciation Day. So I've done a twist on the cookies and done a Teacher Appreciation Day version. This is a You Totally Rock set. And then I've got the Mom You Rock set as well. Okay, so I understand that the lettered cookies are a little bit more difficult, right? Yeah. So we're gonna learn how to make the geode cookies today. And what we'll do, or what you can do for your mom or for your child's teacher, is just put 2 geode cookies in a gift box. Or you can just put a single cookie in a gift box as well, just a smaller size version.
Yeah.
So.
And where do you get all your products for this?
Yeah, so I've got the tags right here. I made these myself. So they're on my website, which is jannicascookies.com. They're instant digital downloads. And for the cookie itself, you need a sugar cookie recipe, which I also have a recipe for my sugar cookie and my royal icing on my website as well. So while we're talking about sugar cookies, one of my tips that I want to share with you is to get a guided roller. So with the guided roller, you are rolling out your cookies with your dough and it makes a perfectly flat cookie. You see that? So when it comes out of the oven, it will be a little raised, but then it's going to deflate as it cools down and it makes that perfectly flat cookie so that when you're frosting it with the royal icing, which is a little runnier, it doesn't run off the side of the cookie. So then I've got rock candy, which can be purchased at Michael's craft store, but I purchased it on Amazon. So this is my big bag here and it's gonna let me do a large amount of cookies for Mother's Day and for my Teacher Appreciation Day. You can go buy the ones on the stick for like $1. Break that off the stick and you can use that for your cookies at home. And then I've got right here just sugared sprinkles, and this can be purchased at Hobby Lobby. It can also be purchased at Michael's craft store, and it's about $1 for a small pack, which should be plenty of sprinkles for the cookies that you want to do at home. And then I've got edible gold or gold here that can be used to do the edging of the cookie like you see right here. Okay. And then the last product you'll need is a food gel. You can also use airbrush gel, but I'm going to use just regular food gel today for you. So let's go ahead and get started. I've pre-bagged my icing and I'm going to use a stiffer consistency to border the edge of my cookie. I'm just going to go around. So the stiffer consistency is nice because as I come in with the flooded consistency, it's going to hold the frosting from, make it so it's not rolling off the side of the cookie. And you can see why these cookies are expensive when you're buying them from somebody, just because they are a little bit more time consuming. So this is just a royal icing, and then I've added a little bit extra powdered sugar to it to make it a stiffer consistency. And then this is the flooded icing, and I'm just gonna go in now and backfill the rest of the cookie. These icing bags can be purchased at any craft store, Michael's, Hobby Lobby. These ones are specifically from Truly Mad Plastics, which is a baking supply store. I also use Grunderfully Delicious's baking bags, and that's online as well.
So how many cookies do you usually make in one setting? Yeah,
so one batch of dough is going to make you about 12 to 15 cookies depending on the size with my recipe. And I'm usually doubling or tripling the recipe itself so that I can make a larger quantity. Most of my orders are 2 dozen. I would say that's probably average. So I'm just shaking the cookie now to get that icing to smooth out a little bit so that we've got a nice smooth work surface. And then I've got my little icing scribe here, and this just helps flatten out any imperfections. And we're gonna take some large pieces of the rock candy and we're going to just make a design and kind of push it into the frosting itself. You wanna try?
Yeah.
So really simple, just kind of put it, and then we're gonna get the smaller sugared sprinkles and put that on the outside. And then I'm just kind of tapping the rock candy and then also the sprinkles into the cookie just so that it stays really well. Okay, so that's it. Now you're gonna want the cookie from this point on to dry for about 12 to 24 hours. It's gonna depend on the consistency and how much water is in your frosting. So we're actually gonna set this one aside, and I've got a cookie that is already dry. So I'm now going to take my watercolor brush, and so these watercolor brushes I didn't talk about. These can be purchased at Hobby Lobby, any other craft supply store. I got these ones on Amazon. Amazon is my best friend. And I've got just a little bit of the food coloring right in here. And I'm just gonna squeeze it and get some of that water out of the brush, and it just drops it right into the dish. And I just wanna make it really kind of watery, if you can see that there. Because I don't want the color to be too dark yet. And I'm just gonna kind of test my color. That's pretty dark. So I'm gonna add just a little bit more water. And it's getting a little lighter. And then we're gonna just start dabbing the color around the cookie.
And just on the crystals, or?
So just on the crystals so that it gives it the illusion that it's a geode rock. And I'm just going back and forth, grabbing a little bit more color. You can put coloring directly into a watercolor brush if you want to. It just is a little bit harder for me, in my opinion, to control the amount of color that's coming out if you do that. Okay, and now I'm gonna get some more color, have it darker now, and go towards the center of the geode rock, and this is gonna help the cookie look like there's depth to these rocks. Pretty simple, just a little time consuming. Okay, and then now I'm gonna take my gold watercolor brush that I've got here, and I'm using a gold luster dust, and I'm just gonna mix this in and kind of make a paste, and then just paint that right onto the cookie, right around the edge.
How long have you been making these cookies?
Yeah, so I am actually a dental hygienist, and
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I quit my job after I had my second baby. And when she was about 9 months old, I just started really needing something that was my own, that also had a creative outlet. Like, that's what I was desiring at that time. And my mom was like, you need to follow your passion. You need to follow your passion. And cookies just intrigued me. So I took a cookie class, and I've basically been addicted since. I just started making cookies for family and friends, for kids' birthday parties, blessings, just like all the major events that go on in people's lives. And it just made this little side gig, and now I get to make stuff that I like to make for
so awesome.
other people for holidays and stuff.
What a fun thing to do.
Yeah, so I have my mom to thank for that. All right, and that is really it. So we've got the geode cookie all done, and we can. Want to take a bite?
Try it, yeah.
So
Thank
there's the
you.
cookie. Cheers.
Cheers.